Max, you wanted to have a conversation about the New York Giants.
More specifically, one about the second overall pick in the 2018 draft, Saquon Barkley, who me and you loved coming out. Still think he's a hell of a football player. But I think it's time we officially call him a bust.
Really?
I do. And I hate to say it. Doesn't mean he's a bad. Does bust mean you're a bad football player, Juan?
No, there's different kinds of bust. There's a DJ Hayden bust where you stay in the league and you're, at least a starter, valuable. And you got the Jamarcus Russell bust. So maybe someone needs to start thinking of categories because the bust label just gets put on anyone.
Exactly, man. So his first 2 years, he has 2,300 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns. The Giants are bad.
Yeah.
And now he's played a total of 7 games, and we don't know how long he's going to be out.
That's insane.
So his 5th-year option is coming up. I'm going to actually see if they picked up. But I feel like, how can you commit money to this guy? How can you commit money to him?
Just
they picked up the 5th-year option. It's going to cost the Giants $7 million. That's smart of them to do that. But going forward, what's he going to hold out? Who's going to pay him?
I mean, man, just looking at the player,
2 straight years.
Looking at the player, Max, I mean, number one, he's been hurt, like you said. Number two, he plays running back. Running back's not the most flashy, alive position right now. It's kind of dead.
Let me say this one. I think he still has the talent to be the best running back in football. But for the Giants, just looking forward to their team. If you go back to that draft specifically, you don't take Josh Allen. You don't take Lamar Jackson. You take Saquon Barkley. Now, I know Eli Manning was there one, but how close was Eli Manning to being crap or to retiring?
Oh, yeah. He was done at that point.
He was already done. There's so many players they could have taken, man. Saquon Barkley, the running back at 2. Who else was a running back in this draft? Let's see. Rashad Penny was the next one. Sony Michel, Nick Chubb in the 2nd round. Would you rather have Nick Chubb in the 2nd round one or Saquon Barkley in the 2nd pick in the draft?
I mean, obviously, Nick Chubb at this point.
Even both healthy, man.
Yeah. How much does Saquon do for the New York Giants? Look, people need to understand. Max said it right now. He's talented. We like the player when he's healthy. But for the Giants, I think right now the state of their football team, he's not valuable for them. What does he do? Does he win football games single-handedly for them?
Do you think he still has that ability?
I don't think so.
I think he can be the best running back in the game. I do, but that's a tall task. I don't think there's any running back other than Derrick Henry in the league who can win a game by himself at this point.
I mean, a lot of things you got to consider. They don't even have the offensive line to do that.
And it's not all his fault.
Has an average O line.
It's not his fault too, because they never really had the offense. They had the Odell. They had Odell. They had Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, who's another bust. Honestly, I know he made a Pro Bowl, but what's he ever done to be impactful? No. Saquon Barkley right now, he's just not impactful. He's always banged up. If I was the Giants, I'd try to trade him for as much value as I could. Maybe get a 2nd-round pick out of him.
I think the smart thing would have been is just trading him right before the season. You would have got a lot for him. It's going to be hard now to get some value from him.
Coming off another injury, man.
Yeah. You know what? I like the player, but looking back at it, it's just, if you were going to pick a guy at number 2, Max, you got to at least you got to roll with it. You got to go all in, chips all in. It's kind of like the Cowboys. At least, a lot of people give them a lot of shit for taking Ezekiel Elliott, but their team fit Zeke. Zeke was
for 2.5, 3 years.
Exactly. He had the talent, number 1. Okay, fit. Number 2, it was the scheme fit. They ran the ball. They had offensive linemen already in place. With Saquon Barkley, it's I love the player. I love the talent, but what are we going to do for this guy? We don't have an offensive line, first of all. We don't even have an identity at this point. It's We have Odell. That's all they had at that point.
Do you
And
think Saquon Barkley was as impactful as Leonard Fournette was the year the Jags went to the AFC Championship game? I
no.
think Leonard Fournette had a better year that year than Saquon Barkley's ever had. Leonard Fournette that year was their offense. It was hand the
Yeah.
ball up to him every play. Let's get 4 yards. They couldn't throw the ball. They had Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Like the team, you have to have the identity. The Giants just took them because they're like, oh, let's supercharge our offense with Odell and Saquon. It'd be amazing. Evan Ingram. It never really worked out for a myriad of reasons. Eli Manning was terrible. The O-line wasn't good, and injuries.
Yeah.
So, and I'll say this: his story's not over by far. He could still, if he plays for the Giants 7 years and has like 7 great years, clearly he's not a bust. I'm saying as of right now, October 27th, Wednesday, 6:22 p.m. Pacific time, he's looking like a bad pick for the Giants. He's not a terrible player. He's an amazing player when he's healthy.
Yeah.
But it's like NBA, right? Most busts in the NBA aren't because of injury, it's because they suck.
Yeah.
Football injuries happen 50 times more likely than basketball.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of the situation, man. I like Saquon, man. I hope he can get healthy and like just not and be productive. Because if he
just needs to move on from the. It's not going to happen on the Giants. I tell you that much. He needs to go somewhere else. If you had to pick a team right now, best fit for Saquon.
Ravens?
Man.
It wouldn't be bad, right?
What about this? New
Chiefs.
England?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine how they'll use Saquon.
Yeah. What about the Rams?
Oh, yeah, the Rams.
Because I got no picks.
He can run any scheme. It's not like he's a power back. He's power. He's zone. You can run any type of scheme with him.